Sairam students, how are you? I hope so you all are doing fine. Okay, so in the last session we had already started the lesson number 1, natural resources, air, water and land. Okay, so before beginning of this today's session, let's have a look whatever we have done in the last lecture. Okay, so students, what is the meaning of the natural resources? That we had already learned in the last lecture. So what is the meaning of the natural resources? We had already learned in the last session. Whatever resources we get from the nature, we call it as what? Natural resources. So what are the things which we get from the nature? Soil, air, animals, water and the plants. These all things we receive from the nature. So as all these things we receive from the nature and which cannot be synthesized by human activity, we call it as what? Natural resources. Okay, and as you all know that there are basically 3 spheres which are present around the earth. Okay, so you must be knowing that what are those 3 spheres which are present around the earth. The first sphere which is present around the earth, that is the atmosphere. Which sphere is present around the earth? Atmosphere. The second sphere which is present around the earth, which is that? Hydrosphere. Okay, and the third sphere which is around the earth, we call it as what? Lithosphere. Okay, so there are basically 3 sphere. Atmosphere means what? The air which is around the earth. So the air which is around the earth, we call it as what? Hydrosphere. Okay, the earth, part of the earth which is occupied by the water, we call it as what? Hydrosphere. Okay, and the part of the earth which is surrounded by the land, we call it as what? Lithosphere. Okay, and do you know that among all the part of the land and the water, the maximum portion of the earth is occupied by water. That is how much percent? 71%. And only the small portion of the earth, that is 29%, it is occupied by the land. I hope so you know all these things already in the advance. So these are the definition which I have given in front of you. So if you have notebook in front of you, so please note down this definition in your notebook. Okay, so what is the definition of the atmosphere? I have displayed here in front of you. So what is the meaning of the atmosphere? The layer of air that surrounds the earth is called as what? Atmosphere. What we call it as? Atmosphere. The next definition which we are going to learn, hydrosphere. What is the meaning of the hydrosphere? The surface of the earth that comprises of water is called as what? Hydrosphere. Okay, and the most importantly, the lithosphere. What is the meaning of the lithosphere? The surface of the earth that comprises of land, we call it as what? Lithosphere. Is that clear to you what I want to tell you over here? After that, the next portion, you all know that the atmosphere is surrounded by the air, and the air is the mixture of the gases. There are different variety of the gases which are present in the air. So you can see here the maximum portion of the gases is occupied by the nitrogen. Then next comes the oxygen, and remaining only 1%, it is occupied by the other gases. Okay, you all know that air is very essential for the breathing purpose. So for the process of respiration, the air is very important. And this portion of the air and this portion of the atmosphere, it is already surrounded by the 5 layers. Okay, so you all know there are basically 5 layers which are present around the atmosphere. So what are those 5 layers which are present around the atmosphere? The first, troposphere. Second, stratosphere. Third, mesosphere. fourth, thermosphere, and the fifth one here, that is the exosphere. So these are the basically 5 spheres which are present in the atmosphere, that is above the earth layer. Okay, and one more thing, there is ozone layer which is protecting the earth from the ultraviolet rays. You all know that from the sun, harmful ultraviolet rays falls on the earth, and these ultraviolet rays, they are very harmful for us. They might cause damage to us also. So that's why, do you know that there is one ozone layer which protects us from the ultraviolet rays? But do you know, because of the pollution, because of the air pollution, this ozone layer is getting destroyed. And that's why, to create the awareness among the people, each year 16th September we celebrate worldwide as a ozone protection day. Which day we celebrate as a ozone protection day? 16th September. I hope so. Now you understood regarding the air. And although 71% of the earth, it is covered by the water, but do you know that this all water is not sufficient for drinking purpose? Okay, because the reason is that 97% of the water which is present on the earth, it is occupied by the sea and the ocean. Can we drink the salty water? No. Can we use the salty water for washing the cloth and washing the utensils? No, we cannot use that. Okay, so do you know, hardly 0.03% of the water we can get for drinking purpose. Okay, so that's why students, we have to use the water very carefully. Wherever it is necessary, you have to use that much amount of water only. Okay, so you already learned in the last session, there are the basically many characteristics of the water. We cannot survive without water. So as we cannot survive without water, that's the reason we call water as the life of all kind of the living organism. Okay, and we again know that water occurs in the 3 states. Which are the 3 states of the water? The first is solid, liquid and gases. Okay, so solid, liquid, gases, these are the 3 states of the water. Okay, now you already on the daily basis we drink water. You had seen water also. So you all know that water has no color, water has no taste also, and water has no odor also. We cannot smell water, no? So it doesn't have any kind of the smell. And one most important property of the water is that if you put anything into the water, it will get easily soluble inside the water. Okay, so that means we can say that water is the universal solvent. What we can call as water? Universal solvent. So till now we learnt about the air, we learnt about the water. So now the most important factor, today we are going to learn about the land. Okay, now you must have seen the soil everywhere. You must have seen no soil everywhere. So if you have seen the soil everywhere, you must have visited village area, you must have visited city area. So you must have observed one thing, the soil type, it is not same everywhere. Somewhere you go and sometimes you see that the soil has black color, sometimes the soil has red color, somewhere the soil is very muddy, somewhere the soil is like a sand particle, isn't it? So that means what? Region to region, the type of the soil it will differ. So do you know that what is the land is made up of? Land, is it flat everywhere? Wherever you go, is this earth is flat? No, it is not flat. So wherever we go, the surface of the earth, it will differ. You must have seen that. Okay, sometime the land is hilly, the sometime it is flat. Okay, sometime it is curvy. So the nature of the earth, the nature of the land, it is not same everywhere. Okay, and one more most important question I would like to ask you, does we human being can produce this soil? Definitely not. We cannot produce this kind of the soil, because the soil again it is the natural resource. So any kind of the natural resource we cannot synthesize. Okay, so now let's have a look more at the synthesis and the composition of the soil. So as you know that land, it is seen in the form of stones, soil and big rocks. The soil is a mixture of everything, no? And it is not flat everywhere. It is hilly in some places and it is flat in some places. Okay, and the most importantly, you all know that all the terrestrial animals including man lives on the land. Now what is the meaning of the terrestrial animal? Terrestrial animal means the animals which live on the land. Okay, the animal which lives on the land, we call them as what? Terrestrial animal. Can we live inside the water for longer time? No. Can we fly for longer time? No. So we live on the land, no? So can I say that we are terrestrial animal? Okay. And you know that there are many type of the animals like mice, like the snake, like crabs. They dig the burrows in the ground and they find the shelter inside the ground for survival. Okay, so there are many variety of the animal which find the place to live inside the dig of the soil. Okay, and most importantly, why this land is necessary? We all know that we use this land for farming, for building the houses and for construction of the road. Okay, and the most importantly, the minerals, the crude oil, the natural gases obtained from the earth, they are very important to us. Now what is the meaning of the minerals and the crude oil and the natural gases? Like for example, for cooking purpose, the cooking cylinder is at our home, so that cooking gas cylinder. And one more thing, the auto rickshaws and the vehicles, four-wheeler, etc., they use a CNG. Even that CNG is a natural gas, so that we get from the earth crust. Okay, and minerals like what? The petrol, diesel, they are the crude oil, so that we again get from the earth crust. And that's why the land is very important to us. Okay, so now you can see that what exactly this land is made up of. So you can see there are many layers over here. On the topmost layer, the soil is there. You must have seen that topmost layer. So below, when we dig the soil, no, what we find? We find the many kind of the pebbles. Okay, so below the soil layer, there is a sand particle. If you dig if you go downward, okay, so again you will find there are many big stone particle. Okay, so the many big stone particle which is present at the base, very big stone particle which is present at the base, we call it as what? Bedrock. What we call it as? Bedrock. Okay, so soil, small stones, worms, insect and the pieces of the bedrock are found below the layer of the land. Okay, so what is land made up of? So this is your question's answer. Now did you understand over here? So here the topmost part of the soil, it is very soft. Okay, and that topmost mature soil, we call it as humus. Okay, so what is the definition of the humus? I repeat here for you. The topmost layer of the soil is formed by decomposition of dead plants and animals. Okay, I repeat once again. The topmost layer of the soil is formed by decomposition of dead plants and animals by the microorganism we call it as what? Humus. Okay, and below the layer of the humus there is immature soil. Okay, the immature soil means what? Which is not yet decomposed. Okay, now why this humus is so much important? What is the importance of the humus which is present at the topmost layer? So this humus is important for supplying the nutrient to the soil. Okay, so this humus is rich in the nutrient and it is important for aerating the soil. What is the meaning of the aerating? It provides the air for the soil for the breathing purpose. Even the aeration is important na, for the soil. So this humus provides the aeration to the soil. And the most importantly, humus is useful for holding the water in the soil. It holds the water very tightly so that water can be supplied to the plants for its use. Okay, so you can see the diagram here in front of you. Plant is there. On the topmost layer, what you can see here? Humus you can see. So humus is the mature soil. Below humus, what you can see, students? Soil layer is there. Below soil layer, what you can see over there? Immature soil. Okay, and below immature soil, what you can see here? Layer of the soil and the small rock, and at the bottom big rock you can see. So the big rocks which is present at the bottom, what we call it as? Bedrock. What we call it as? Bedrock. Okay, so what is the definition of the bedrock? Further below, the layer of the soil decreases and that of the rock increases. Okay, so when you go downward, the layer of the rock increases. Okay, so when the layer of the rock increases, we call it as what? Bedrock. Is that clear? So when you go downward, the soil layer decreases and the rock level increases. We call it as what? Bedrock. Okay, and why this soil is different in the different region? Because the reason is that we get minerals from the bedrock. We get minerals from the bedrock. The color and the texture of the soil are determined by the bedrock. Okay, and because of the presence of different type of the bedrock, the soil in the different region is different. Now did you understand over here what I want to tell you? And now the next question is that how exactly this soil formation takes place? Okay, there must be some process for the formation of the soil. You must be thinking how exactly this soil formation occurs inside the nature. Okay, so this soil formation occurs in the nature by the natural process. Okay, the abiotic components of the soil are supplied through the weathering of the bedrock. Now what is the meaning of the abiotic component? Non-living thing. Okay, so the non-living thing which are present in the soil, we call it as what? Abiotic component. Okay, what is the meaning of the weathering of the bedrock? Weathering means breakdown. Weathering means what? Breakdown. Bedrock means what? Very big stone particle. So when big stone particle it's get broken down into the soil, we call it as what? Weathering of the bedrock. Now how this weathering of the bedrock occurs? Now because of the heat, because of the cold, because of the water, the sun and the wind and the rain respectively, the bedrock breaks down into the small pieces and as a result stones, sand and the soil formation takes place inside the soil. Now did you understand what I want to tell you over here? Okay, and the most importantly, along with the weathering of the rock, microorganisms, worms and the insects, they are also present inside the soil. Okay, rodents like mice, rats are also found inside the land. The roots of the trees growing on the land also helps in the weathering of the rocks. Okay, and do you know this process just to form 2.5 centimeter thick layer of the mature soil. Just to form 2.5 centimeter thick layer of the soil, it takes thousands of years. Can you imagine? Okay, and that's why this formation of the soil, we say that it is very slow and continuous process. So students, don't you think that if this formation of soil, if this takes a lot of year, then it is our responsibility to save the soil, to conserve the soil, because as it is taking so many years to form, okay, because we are dependent upon the plant for the food material. Plants are growing inside the soil. So just imagine, if there is no soil, then how plants will grow? And if there are no plants, then from where we will get the food material? So that's why we have to conserve the soil. Okay, so how soil can get destroyed? So soil can destroyed because of the many reasons. Soil might get destroyed because of the flood, because of the storm, and the human activities such as mining. And that's why it is very necessary to conserve the soil and prevent the erosion of the land. Okay, so I hope so you must have understood whatever concept we have learned today. Okay, so what new things we have learned today, students, over here today? We spoke about what land is made up of. Then we spoke about what is the meaning of the humus. Humus is the mature part of the soil which is formed by the decomposition of the dead animal and the plant by the microorganism. So that is the humus. Then we spoke about the bedrock, the rock particle which is present at the bottom, what we call it as bedrock. Okay, and then next we spoke about the formation of the soil. How exactly the soil formation takes place, that also we had seen. Okay, and do you know that although there is out of 100% of the earth's surface, only small portion of the earth we are using, like we are using 29% of the land, 0.3% of the drinkable water, and oxygen hardly we are using 21%. Although it is available in the small quantity, it is sufficient for us. Okay, but the thing is that we humans have to stop becoming greedy in order to save our natural resources for the future generation. Okay, so we have to save all the natural resources for the future generation, otherwise our survival will be in the danger. Okay, so students, I hope so you must have understood the topic which I have covered today. So here we completed the lesson number 1, natural resources, air, land and water. Okay, and the questions regarding this particular topic, it is given below the YouTube link. Do solve that. Okay, take care, bye.